Erica, how's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
So, for context, Sarah and Lauren, Erica was the very first client I had as I made my exit from Johnson and Johnson.
As Joe probably told you, had a career in tech. I was working as like a PM and then a product marketer and had always had my blog on the side. And I always kind of thought, oh, I don't want to monetize that because that might suck the joy out of like my passion project. And like, what if, I end up hating it? And like, what will I do then? But then when I got laid off at the end of 2022, that was kind of the jumping off point where I was like, okay, I've been thinking about this for a long time. What better time to try it than now? And it took my friend, I had 3 months of severance. So I was like, maybe I'll spend 50% of my time doing the blog, 50% looking for a new job. And then my friend was like, no, you need to give yourself 1 year, just like believe in yourself and give it a go and just like don't distract yourself with other things. And so that's how I really leapt into full time blogging and content creation. And now I'm going on year 3, and I couldn't be more grateful that I got laid off because I think it really pushed me into this new career that I would not have been able to just like choose to leave stable health insurance and a career otherwise. It was definitely very challenging in the beginning when I didn't know what my revenue streams were going to look like. So I was just like throwing spaghetti at the wall. And I think that's where Joe came in and he was like, I really think you could like blow up your YouTube and like make that a significant stream of income. And so I tried all these different things, and it was not like, I mean, it was a fun time looking back because I was like building towards something else, but it was also like really unnerving because I was like, I don't know what if this is going to work. I feel like I'm pouring so many hours into this. Like, is the ROI going to be there? But I think in the end, it was a really valuable time. And I'm like grateful that I was able to spend that time kind of experimenting and failing fast and figuring out, okay, I actually enjoy doing this and it makes money versus I don't enjoy this at all and it's not making any money, and kind of like culling those things so that I can now focus on the revenue streams that I enjoy and are lucrative.
You were so evergreen online,
Hmm.
which is something I've never had. So, this has been going for 200 plus days. You still keep getting views and engagement. You still get traffic through search and browse. And folks have sat under your content for 700 hours, which is just incredible to think that like you
That
can
is
never you can never do that with one person. We put about 100 hours into this edit, the thumbnail, and the title like hook optimization.
I've since learned in trying to grow my own short form platforms on like Instagram and TikTok. Everyone kind of says that consistency is key. But I think the other thing that a lot of people, but not everyone, talks about is like, I think most of the growth that you just pointed out on my YouTube is from, and they just like let me loose in the kitchen. And so I like would make all these components, and then we would have family meal at like 4 p.m. in time to start service at 5 p.m. And I was really lucky because this is an example of spaghetti that was thrown at the wall. I thought it could be fun. It was not actually that fun for me, were it not for how uncertain the Google algorithm is. Like, it is constantly changing, and people have their like careers absolutely wrecked by like sliding in the Google rankings. And so like one day you could be at the top of Google making tons of money off your carrot cake recipe. The next day you could be at the bottom.
Social media. I love social media and stuff, but I don't get that sense of being able to connect with people the way I do in like an online or in a real life community. Um, yeah. And so I was telling you, Joe, like letting go of all those other communities to finally come to the one, but now just being able to focus in and take direction from leaders like Joe and from Sarah and just go forward, knowing now I have like my people. And my path.
I will say this probably is so generic and you've probably heard it before, but like the ceiling for what you can make as an entrepreneur versus when I think about what I could have made or could be making at my corporate job is so vastly different. And it really is a lot about like, a combination of luck and hard work. What percentage do you think was luck and what percentage do you think was hard work? Like, what can you attribute your success to? And most people will say some combination, and it's really rare, but some people will be like, oh, it was all hard work, which I think is silly. And it's never all luck either.
You know
Yeah.
that you're 95% hard work, right, Erica? Do you see that in yourself?
Thanks, Joe. I don't know about that. I think there was a lot of luck involved too, but definitely, I will say a lot of work too.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons I was so convicted to just work with you as a client. You had done 100 blogs without it being your day job, or like you're up to 80 or wherever it was before you took the jump. You had continue to kind of build this asset off of your passions and aspirations in parallel to holding down your normal 9 to 5. And then you listened to your friend and went all in as opposed to being scattered. Because I've also gone all in at risk because I was doing the job hunt plus entrepreneurship, and then I just kind of kept doing entrepreneurship, right? So like that's a choice and work, and then you've gotten just great at it. Like when I looked at your first couple blogs compared to what you do now, it is clear that you have grown immensely in skill and your ability to communicate clearly. And then you stepped into other stuff with videography, and your food shorts edited off your phone crush compared to a lot of the competition. It's just a different way that you shoot compared to people that have like the high quality cameras and all the top shots, and like you do it your own way and it's still incredibly effective. So it's all work.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I actually paid Joe to say all of that, so thank you.
Yes.
So what's your dream life look like? Like, what does it look like, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road? Like, what, tell us about that.
That's such a good question, and one that I've been thinking about ever since I read that like whole financial freedom is like designing your dream life. But I think it would look something like, okay, cool. Thanks, guys.